All right, so here's your three different types of sentences. You have a simple sentence, a compound sentence, and a complex sentence. Okay, now we're going to label these sentences with checks and X's. If it is a check, that means that sentence or that clause makes sense by itself. If it is an X, it does not make sense by itself and it needs something else to help it. Okay? So let's look at our first type of sentence. These are the sentences that you learned when you were in first grade. A simple sentence. A simple sentence has one subject, one predicate. It's very easy. She eats pumpkin. Okay, who, she, what is she doing? She's eating pumpkin. That is a check sentence because it makes sense by itself. Here's another check sentence. She doesn't eat it during the summer. That's another check sentence. It makes sense by itself. Okay, simple sentences. If we had simple sentences through our whole story, our reader would get really, really bored. She eats pumpkin. She doesn't eat it during the summer. She prefers to eat it in the fall. Okay, if we had that same type of sentence over and over, our reader is going to get really bored. So that's why we want to mix up our sentences. Here's a second type of sentence that you can put. A compound sentence. Okay, a compound sentence is two complete sentences held together by a comma fanboy. Okay, check sentences, y'all, are really heavy. They're really heavy, and if we have two of them, we need really, really good glue. So when I say really, really good glue, I want you to say comma fanboy glue. Ready? Really, really good glue. All right, good. One more time. Really, really good glue. All right, just kidding. One more time. Really, really good glue. Comma, fanboy glue. Very good. So here we have she eats pumpkin. I'm using these same two simple sentences over here, and I'm combining them to make one sentence. She eats pumpkin. Remember, we decided that that was a check sentence, so I'm going to put a check here. And then the second sentence is she doesn't eat it during the summer. That's also another check sentence. They make sense on their own. So I'm going to glue them together with really, really good glue. That's when you say comma fanboy glue. Let's try it again. Really, really good glue. Good. Here's my comma. Here's my fanboy. I glued these two check sentences together with really, really good glue. Your comma fanboy's glue. Okay? So this glue is holding together two complete sentences. And then we turn our two simple sentences into a compound sentence, and this compound sentence reads, she eats pumpkin, but she doesn't eat it during the summer. So we turn two simple sentences into one sentence. And these two checks are heavy. Checks are always heavy, so we combine them with comma fanboy's glue. Okay? This is the second type of sentence that you can use in your writing. Now, the third type of sentence is a complex sentence. See that X in complex? Complex. It's because in a complex sentence, you have one clause or one sentence that doesn't make sense by itself. Okay? So I'm going to read you this sentence here in just a second, but let's take a look down here. If you have a complex sentence, it has an X. So this sentence, instead of being two checks, is going to be an X in a check or a check in an X. You're going to have one complete sentence and one incomplete sentence. Okay? Now, a check, if you have one check in your sentence, remember I told you checks are really heavy? Well, this only has one check versus the compound sentence that has two checks. So this one check is heavy, but it's not as heavy as this. So we just need good glue here. We don't need really, really good glue. That's comma fanboy glue. We just need a comma or a fanboy to hold these two sentences together. So to glue a check sentence together with an X sentence, you use a comma or a fanboy, not both. You only use both here. So take a look at our sentence. Although she eats pumpkin. Also, note that every time you see although at the beginning of a sentence, that is a key word that this is an X. This is an X sentence. Okay? Although she eats pumpkin, well, that sentence can't stand on its own. It needs something else. So we give that an X. I put my X right there. Although she eats pumpkin, that's an X. She doesn't eat it during the summer. That is a check. I put my check right here because that sentence can survive on its own. She doesn't eat it during the summer. Okay, so I have an X combined with a check. And I glued an X and a check together with just good glue, just this comma. Okay, I did not use a comma and a fanboy because that's for compound sentences. I just used a comma here. So, if you use a complex sentence, it has an X in it. Although she eats pumpkin, that's my X. And then the second part is she doesn't eat it during the summer. That's the check. Sometimes the check will come before the X. It's still the same rule. You're going to use a comma or one of your fanboys. Okay? So make sure as a writer that you are changing up how you're writing your sentences. Don't write all simple sentences or don't write all compound sentences. Don't write all complex sentences. Change them up. Challenge yourself to see how many different types of these sentences you can use in your writing. All right, can't wait to read your writing.